Alright, what is going on, guys? So today we're going to take a quick look at RealOEM.com. A lot of times when I'm talking with you guys in the comments about working on your car, I will reference RealOEM. Basically tell you guys to go look up diagrams and all that good stuff. And I know a lot of you probably don't know that much about RealOEM or really haven't used it before. But honestly, it's one of my favorite sites and I utilize it quite a lot. And this is going to be helpful to not only my manual swap guys, but to my DIY guys as well. And it's sort of not really specific to E36s. It is a full BMW database of all the diagrams and all that good stuff. So basically from modern cars all the way to old cars, if it's a BM or a Mini or a Rolls, the diagrams are on there. So this is going to be helpful especially to my manual swap guys. You guys will be able to sort of create your own parts list. And this whole thing is sort of me giving you guys the tools you need to take on your own projects and sort of become self-independent with a manual swap. You're not always relying on all this other stuff. You can sort of go in and figure it all out yourself is what I'm trying to get to. So let's go over here. We'll go to RealOEM, RealOEM.com. Alright, so this is sort of basically the start page. If we actually just go to RealOEM.com, it'll bring us to this page right here. So we're basically just going to go BMW catalog. So back on this page again, so this is basically where you choose your chassis. So they have all the new ones. They have the F22, they have the M2s, E46, E90s, the M4s on here, the F80s, M3s, all that good stuff. So for your new guys, this is basically where you're going to put in your year, make, model, that sort of thing. So because we're working on an older car, right, 36 can be found in the classic section. So we're going to go over to classic. And this is basically where the old stuff is. 2002s, E30s, E36s, E28, stuff like that. So basically you're going to want to put in your chassis, year, all that good stuff. So we're going to be doing this on Little Wing. So we're going to go E36. It's a sedan. It is an M3. And production date's 11/96, even though it is a 97. And as far as automatic or manual, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. It'll show the diagrams for both. So basically this is going to narrow down the parts list specifically to your car. So know things like the 325i and the 318 do use a different transmission than the 328s and the M3s. So if you're doing a manual swap, you want to keep that in mind. So you're going to have a different drive shaft, you're going to have a different clutch, you're going to have a different transmission, and just general parts like that are going to differ between the models. So that goes back to me saying my parts list might be different from your parts list because I have an M3 and you might have a 318, or you have a 328 and our parts list are basically the same. So we're going to go down to browse parts here, and this is basically the home page of your diagram. So in each of these it has like a handful of diagrams on each thing. So basically your engine, you have all your engine diagrams, manual transmission, your transmission diagrams, diagrams for your shifter, pedals, brakes, steering, basically everything, trim, radiator, all that good stuff. So we're going to go through a couple scenarios and I'm going to show you guys how you can figure out how all the stuff goes together and how you can use RealOEM to find parts. So let's say in the first instance I got a shifter assembly for my manual swap. I'm working on my manual swap, I got the shifter assembly, and I'm not sure if there's any other parts that go with the shifter assembly that I need to figure out, or maybe I'm missing a clip or something like that. We're going to go over to gear shift. So here are all our diagrams. You got like the automatic transmission wire, all that stuff. You got your shift boots, shift knobs, and here's the gear shift for the manual. So basically here's an exploded view of all the components of the manual shifter assembly. So here's like your selector rod, here's your actual shift arm, and then there's like a carrier arm right here. And so it's got like a rubber boot here, it's got that bushing that holds it onto the frame. You got all your clips, all your hardware, all that good stuff. So maybe I got the whole shifter assembly, it has the selector rod on it, has the shifter, has the bushing, has all that stuff, but oh, what is this? I've never seen this before. Maybe it didn't come with the shifter, so maybe I need to get it, right? So maybe this is the first time I'm seeing this part. So if I hadn't gone on RealOEM, I might have not known that I needed that, you know what I mean? So like, what is that? We can click on it and it'll highlight red number 4 down here. So now we can click on this guy, and so here is technically what it's called, the bearing shifter arm or whatever. Down here dealer price is about $17.40, so you can kind of check dealer prices based on the site here. Got the part number right here, so that's the part number. And besides the E36, this is all the cars that it's used on. So basically, not only can you find out what part you need, you can also figure out where that part is on different cars. So maybe now, instead of just trying to find it, if anybody's parting out, let's say like an E92, like an E46, if I need the part, I can go find an E46 part out and get the part I need. So now you're not just looking at E36 part outs, now you're looking at just general car part outs, you know what I mean? And this isn't really so much useful for like a little bearing shift arm like this, but maybe for something like a transmission, maybe like the Getrag transmission from your 325 is also used in like a 5 series. I know the ZF transmissions from the M3s are used in the 328s, and they're also used in some Z3s too. So maybe if you're looking for a transmission, now I'm looking at like 5 different models of cars that have the transmission instead of just trying to find an E36 M3 to part out. So we're going to take the part number here. I need to get one. So we're going to go to Google and we're going to plug the part number in. So basically there's some images of it, but FCP Euro has it, eBay has it, ECS Tuning has it, Turner Motorsport has it, Euro Parts has it. So basically you can find all of the parts you need just by backlogging the part number like that. So this has a whole shifter rebuild kit, and look, there's our guy with it. Now maybe I'm just trying to find just that part. So we're going to scroll through a bunch of these links here. And Turner Motorsport has it, just that part, $20. So it was actually a little bit cheaper at the dealership. Basically, here it is. You can use that to find the parts that you need. Not to mention, now I have an exploded view how everything goes together. So I know that that goes through there. It's got these 2 little washers, and it's got a clip on the end of it. Same thing with like this will be bolted onto the transmission. So now it's got this little clip here. Maybe I was missing that clip. Maybe the shifter didn't come with that clip. So now I have the clip part number. Let's pop that into Google. And there it is. ECS Tuning has it. Alright, so $6 for that clip. So now I'm not scrambling to try and find this stupid clip that I didn't know I didn't need. You know what I mean? So it's just useful to find little parts, hardware too. So let's go for something a little bit more technical. So we're going to go into clutch. So here's the diagram of how the clutch goes together. And maybe I'm looking at, do I have all of my slave cylinder, master cylinder, the whole clutch lines? Do I have all the parts I need? So here we have an exploded view of all the clutch lines. So this will run up right here to the master reservoir to pull brake fluid in. And we got all the lines here, all the hardware that goes with it. Maybe that's the guy. Maybe I don't have that line. So I have a handful of lines, but I don't know if I have all of the lines. So I can just find the part number, copy that, go drop it into Google again. Oh, what is that? We can look at an image. I don't have that part, so now I know where to order that part, right? Now we directly have the part number for it. So ECS has it, Pelican Parts has it, Euro Parts has it, eBay has it. So you know what I mean? So you can actually go through here, basically compile a parts list for your manual swap or whatever else project you're doing just based off RealOEM. So let's take another scenario. Maybe I was working on my intake manifold, took it off, and I'm putting it back on, and I don't know where the vacuum lines went. Or even worse, I broke a vacuum line. So now not only does that vacuum line not have a part number on it, I also don't know where it goes and how to get a new one, right? We're going to go into engine, and it basically has an exploded view of almost every component on the engine. So your oil pan gaskets, timing covers, your cylinder head, crankcase ventilation system, your valve covers, the front pulley systems, all that good stuff. So we're going to scroll down and we're going to find vacuum control. There it is. Okay. So now we have basically an exploded view of the vacuum control on the intake manifold system. So here's our secondary air pump. It was that hose there between that black box, I have no idea what it's called, and that hard line that comes off of secondary air pump system. So that's that line there. So now I don't even know what that thing is called. Now I have a part number for that hose I broke. So we can copy that, go plug it in there, and ECS Tuning has a genuine vacuum hose that matches that part number. I broke a hose that I didn't even know that I really needed right now, and now I have the part number for it. So this is just sort of helpful when you need some parts that you have no idea what they're called. Not to mention, now I know exactly how all of the lines go together. So, oh, that goes there, and then that tees off, that goes under the manifold. You know what I mean? This can be useful for just about any DIY guy. And again, this is on any chassis. So your E30, your E46s, your E92s, your 5 Series, 7 Series, 1 Series, E36s, all of them have this level of in-depth view on how the cars go together. So it can be a really useful tool if you know how to use it properly and effectively. It can really help you out with your project. So maybe I was working on my cylinder head and I sent it off to the shop and I completely stripped it so the machinist could do their job, and now I got it back, and now I have all of these coolant plugs. I got a coolant temperature sensor, I got a plug that goes in, I got another sensor that goes in the side of the cylinder head, and I have no idea where they go. So we're going to go into the cylinder head diagram. And right there, okay, so that's our coolant temp sensor. There's just a plug, and then there's the fitting for the cooling line. You can basically figure out where all of those things go that you really didn't remember where they go. So it's just pretty useful. I use this a lot. I'll even print these out and have like 6 of them on hand when I'm working on a project, just laying on the side there, so I can keep referencing how everything goes together. You know, and maybe you didn't even know parts that you need are here, so maybe you didn't even know you needed that spring clip. But I would honestly just spend maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes just going through this, familiarizing yourself with the software and how to use the diagrams effectively, and you can really knock out a project this way. I just wanted to give you guys a quick rundown on RealOEM and how you can use it to basically put together a build. You know, if you don't really know where to start on your manual swap or any other project, you don't know how to compile your own parts list, here's one of the ways you can do it besides reading threads. You know, you can actually go through and find all the parts you need yourself along with the part numbers. Not just that, but maybe you're going to like an Ecology Auto Parts to pull off some parts, right? So you know you needed a master cylinder, you know you needed a slave cylinder, you know you needed this, you know you needed that, and instead of going in blind and just guessing what parts they look like, you can actually find a diagram of how they look. You can search up the part number and you can get an actual picture of how it looks, so you have an idea, so you go into getting your parts knowing what the parts look like and what they need, and that can be a huge help to anyone working on a project like that. So I hope you guys use this effectively. Thank you guys so much for watching. Keep it fresh, and I will see you guys later.